Okay, hi guys, and welcome back to the Heavy Chef YouTube channel. My name is still Caley from Kolk, not Nigella Lawson, and today we're going to be having some fun with Sam Beckbessinger. Now, Sam wrote a book. Sam, you're going to come get in the shot here with me. So hello to everybody at Heavy Chef.
Hi, Heavy Chef people.
So Sam wrote a book, and she's going to say it because I actually can't. I'm too much of a
say
Virgo prude. I cannot say it. Manage your money like a grown-up.
F&cking Grownup.
There we can see. You can show everybody the book. Okay, but because we're going to be discussing finance today, we're taking this super seriously and we're going to go sit at a desk with a pen, paper, and computer. So come with us.
In South Africa, half of all credit active South Africans have impaired credit records, which means they are 3 or more months behind on their debt repayments, which means that there are 10 million South Africans in a debt spiral. I have a background in literature and in religious studies, which it turns out do not equip you very well for learning how to manage taxes and credit cards and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So what happened to me, like in my mid-20s, I had this financial strategy, when I started in my life, of never think about it.
Yeah.
It'll all be fine if you just never think about it. And then what happened was I got to age like 25, I was deep in debt, and I realized, funny enough, that money, by never thinking about it, what had happened was money was controlling my life and all of my big decisions, right? So I decided then that I needed to actually figure out how this stuff works. The average Australian's net worth is $220,000 US, which is about 2.9 million-ish. The average South African's net worth is $3,000 US, which is 39,000-ish. It's that knowledge of that freedom and that power to not be trapped in your decisions.
Sure.
By needing to make money. And then you can start thinking bigger, right? You can start to think, if I don't choose the work that I do based on what to fund my expensive lifestyle, you can start thinking about what work you really want to do, what work would be the most meaningful to you.
Sure.
There are 56 million people in South Africa, more or less. Half of those people live below the breadline.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is that actually having enough money leads to having freedom, right?
Exactly.
And freedom for you is not the freedom to stop working, but it's the freedom to choose what type of work you actually want to do. And I think that's key. It's not the freedom to stop working, but it's the freedom to not have to work to survive for money, to be able to choose what you want to do with your time.
It's the great irony of money is that the more you've controlled it and you've mastered it, the less you can afford to think about it. The more it can not be a factor in your decision making.
Sure.
And for me, that's what financial independence means.
Sure.
It means being able to really have this tool that is a really powerful tool that can enable your audacious dreams and the big things you really want to do and you care about. Almost half of all mothers in South Africa are single, and 12% of fathers in divorced households contribute financially. It's so tempting to think, I'm just not earning enough yet. I'll start later. I'll start when it's easier. A, sorry, it never gets easier because you can never out-earn your spending, unfortunately. And B, the thing about money is that time is really the thing that matters.
Sure. And I think, just speaking, from a standard consumer on the street, a lot of people think, I'm not earning enough to be able to save, right?
Yeah.
Is there a minimum amount of money that you need to have in order to actually begin saving?
So I had this idea about investing, before I learned about money. And it felt like something that you do if you're an old white guy who owns a wine farm, they're investing.
Yeah.
It's not something that I could think about as a regular person. If you go onto a site called Easy Equities in South Africa, you can sign up with a proof of address and an ID book in 10 minutes. And you can start investing for 250 Rand a month. That's it. That is the price of dinner. Wealth inequality in South Africa hasn't been getting better. It's been getting worse and worse. So if you feel like the system is rigged against you, it probably is.
Yeah. So let's do the maths on that. Let's take this 250 Rand. Let's say I'm hypothetically 25 years old, although I'm actually 28, and I'm going to begin investing this 250 Rand a month now.
Yes.
Can we look at what that's going to be worth in 40 years' time?
How long are we putting it in?
We're going to put it in for 40 years.
Okay, 40 years. So you started 25.
Yes.
Awesome. That is nearly 1 million Rand.
Okay.
There we go.
And I mean, that is very doable. We're talking 250 Rand a month,
Yeah.
And I mean, I like what when you talk about the spending ratio. So let's just quickly talk about what is the spending ratio.
I know it can sound scary, but most people really need to try to be saving between 20 to 30% of their income every single month. And if you want true financial independence earlier, that could be an even higher percentage, right?
Sure.
I have interviewed people who are earning 150,000 Rand a month and are spending 160,000 Rand every month, and who are in terrible debt spirals. And I've also met people who are earning 10,000 Rand a month, but they are saving 22,000 of that. So they have a spending ratio of 80%.
Sure.
And over the long term, even though it feels like it can be so difficult, the thing that you have control over is you have control over what percentage you save.
On average, South African women earn almost 30% less than men. So I think these things become much more concrete when you actually do some exercises. So come sit, I want to show you some things. So first exercise I want you to do is I want you to write down the amount of money that you think you are still going to earn over your lifetime as this 25-year-old. Just don't think about it too much. Just write down, gut feel. How much money does that person earn?
I'm saying 3 million Rand.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's get the real number. Okay, so this person is 25.
Yeah.
And they're earning 15,000 Rand a month. Okay. So you were slightly off because the answer is 36 million Rand.
Wow. Not slightly off. I was completely off.
So I think most people underestimate how much money is actually going to pass through their hands over their lifetime, right? So that's a very ordinary salary.
Yeah.
And this assumes just a 6% inflation increase every year over their lifetime, right? So this is a person never getting a raise. This is just
15,000 Rand a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa.
So you have a lot of opportunities as this 25-year-old, okay? But then second thing, okay, I want you to guess this one. How many paychecks do you have left?
Jeez, you are testing my math this morning.
No, don't do the math. Just what does your gut feel?
How many? I would say about 1,000.
Okay. All right. So what is it now? June.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you have 474.
474 paychecks left.
So I think that's the corollary, right?
Yeah.
Is you have a lot of opportunities and that there's a lot of money that's going to come through your hands, and therefore a lot you can do with it. But you don't have a lot of time to make those decisions. You essentially have 474 individual moments to decide how your salary is going to be split between savings, debt repayments, and spending.
Jeez, that's insane. So is this a common thing that people often underestimate how much they're going to earn and they overestimate how many paychecks they're actually going to get?
Exactly. So I hope that people watching are trying this at home, and I'm interested to know if they do the same thing. So one of my favorite graphs in the book is this one. See? So this is a graph comparing the impact of cutting out a latte that costs 22 Rand every single day of your life versus spending 2,000 Rand a month less on your car repayments. If you can spend 2,000 Rand a month less on your car repayments, that translates to about 7 million Rand over your lifetime in opportunity cost.
Okay, so guys, now that you've learned about some of the overarching key financial principles that are going to help you buy your way to your freedom, we would like you to do some of the exercises in this book.
Compound interest basically is the difference between how things grow when they're growing kind of in a normal way, So
guys, if you like what we are doing, then please do click on the subscribe button right over here. Yes, right over here. You just need to have a YouTube account and it's super easy to set it up.
An example I use in the book is imagining that there are two rats on a ship, and those rats are breeding, and if the rats, only the original pair of rats was breeding and they were having babies every couple of days, you would have a very simple graph that kind of goes up, and that's how we normally think about growth, right?
And of course, guys, in true heavy chef style, please do share the learnings from the things that you do.
But actually what happens with rats is that their babies start having babies as well, and then that's the difference between a graph that goes like this and a graph that goes like this, that hockey sticks up.
And you can do so in the comments beneath this video.
The thing is that growth very quickly, if things double and then they double on what they've doubled, it almost melts your brain how big things can get. And really the thing that makes a difference when you look at compound interest is time.
Until next time, guys, peace out.